So you have to hit record over here. See the record button? You have to hit that, and it will tell you.
This conference will now be recorded.
And then he starts the video.
All set. Welcome to the Sturbridge Conservation Commission meeting for March 28th, 2024. It's 6 p.m. We are in the center office building on the second floor if you'd like to join us at 301 Main Street in Sturbridge. Conservation Commission will hold this meeting in person with an option for virtual attendance. In-person attendance will be at the meeting location I just listed. We have GoToMeeting access at GoToMeeting.com, join/846 062197. You can also phone in at 1-872-240-3212, and the access code is 846-062-2197. All right, with that, you'd like to read it?
Okay. In the interest of saving time, the Sturbridge Conservation Commission will hold all public hearings tonight for work within the wetland, water body, or resource area, and/or within the 200-foot buffer zone to wetland, water body, or resource area, in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, MGL, Chapter 131, Section 40, and associated regulations, and the Town of Sturbridge Wetland Bylaws and associated regulations. We will not be reading newspaper ads. We have better things. Prior to opening the first hearing for each project, the applicant is to submit proof of notification to abutters within 200 feet of the subject property line and proof of legal newspaper advertisement. If these items are not submitted, the public hearing will not open. Additionally, prior to the start of each public hearing, we will announce the location of the project, the applicant, and the applicant's representative. If any of the visitors have not legibly signed in yet, please do. Also, if any visitors are recording this meeting, please let us know. Thank you.
Attendance, starting on your side.
Eric Gaspar, present.
Ted Winglass, present.
Roy Bishop, present.
Ed Goodwin, present.
Carsten Stuber, present.
For the record, I just want to add that I received a Mullins form from Eric Gaspar for the last meeting, and I received a Mullins form from Ted Winglass. He's only been able to watch one of the hearings, so he'll participate on the 300 Clark Road extension.
All right.
And last year I was kind of a new guy to the board, but we was able to mention, it's Women's Month and the work that the ladies did in the office. After being here for over a year, it's a tremendous amount of work that both she and Becky have done in the past. I just wanted to recognize them for their efforts.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And actually, she's done a year's work in the last 2 weeks.
Sounds like you're kicking out a bonus from the taxpayers there, Ed.
Nice call out, Ted.
So, yeah, it's been a lot of change, and Jeff has come on and helped us a tremendous amount,
Yes.
in a short period of time. He fit right in, and first hour he was productive, so it's good, right? So, and along that line, we have an applicant who will go before the selectmen for approval on Monday for for a Becky replacement. So that's
That's a good interview.
What?
People, you got a chance to talk to them as
yeah.
Good.
It's I'm out of the interviewing at this age. I used to do it a lot of it at a time. And they had good candidates. A couple of them were green. That's what I would say. Somebody that you'd really like to have the job, but somebody else is privy for a while. But anyway, I think you'll be really pleased with who we got.
Yes,
We got.
good.
If they, I don't want to give the name because they haven't signed up on it. And with that, we can go to public hearings.
6:05, yep.
Yep. We,
Honey,
6
you were up.
605 97 Shore Drive, notice of intent, raise and rebuild of a lakefront home, DEP file number 300-1188. Owner applicant, Jane and Timothy Seitz, and Lenny Jalbert. Is this your last meeting, Lenny?
He's just joking.
I said I forgot it.
Okay.
Okay, what's actually taken place here is we had a meeting previously relative to the site. There was a question for the plantings on the site, which we went under a revision 2 and added new plantings to the site. What we did is we added 6 blueberry bushes here along the water, near the dock area in this area here. And we added 2 new fruit trees, a peach and an apple tree over here on the property on this side. There's a large tree over here which is encompassing this section. There's also large trees here, here, and here, which are on the lot. What we did is we added drip areas on both sides of the building for infiltration for any runoff on the property, with an overflow to a basin over here adjacent to the property, but over 25 feet from the back line of the water itself. So basically from the house Okay, from the house here to the water, we're 34 feet. And then underneath here, we have a stone bed on the deck that's here, so for infiltration of that. The house is serviced by town sewer and a private well, which we're putting in a new well on the property itself. So that's basically what we're doing. The house itself is being built in its entirety within the footprint of the existing house itself. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Eric?
For the record, I need to recuse myself for this public hearing because I've missed 2 of.
Just voting you recuse. You can participate.
Oh, okay. So I have watched the previous meetings. Could you give me, it was a little hard to hear, kind of your response to the questions that Ed had around, we're expanding the footprint, we're going inside of the 50-foot buffer. Yes, we've added some plantings around there, but can you give me the narrative of what we've done to improve the conditions of the site that would justify us giving you a waiver inside of 50 feet?
Okay, what we've done to improve it is that we took the area here, which before there was a direct runoff from the building itself onto the ground to the water. We added the infiltrator trenches on both sides of here for protection. We eliminated the driveway, which was over here before, just brought it into the front. So that area there will be pervious here, that before it was impervious. So that's basically what we've done. The 25 foot from the water to here, we've untouched, just left it as is. The only thing that we disturbed was putting in a new well in the front here. That was it. That's what we've done. The area here that the deck is coming out is 1 story high above the building itself. Underneath it is going to be all stone. Area here for percolation. So feel that we're ending up with less runoff on the property than we had before, even though we're going with an increase of roughly 4% for, 3% rather, for the coverage of the building itself due to the deck on the second level.
So the total lot coverage is going up by 3%. What was this? What was the square footage inside of the 50-foot before versus the square footage of the 50-foot now? It's probably on the plans and I can read it.
It's on the plans, yeah,
I can look it up, edit, if I have a follow-up, can I just reserve the right? Okay. No problem.
That was a good comment.
What? Yeah.
address Eric's question.
I think the only issue is the expansion, from my point of view, is the 6 blueberry and a couple of trees, 2 trees to the back, comparable to putting in a porch in the 50-foot. I mean, we're supposed to be looking for a waiver in this case. It's going from a single story to 3 stories. So it's definitely going to have an impact on the area. Those are my only comments.
So, I got my answer.
Yep.
The existing structure, and correct me if my numbers are wrong here, is 382 square feet between 25 and 50 feet. The proposed structure is 360, so there is a reduction there, but the reduction is actual house structure versus patio that's there, right?
Correct.
Is that correct?
We removed the patio. There was, on the original site, there was a patio in the front, and that's been removed, which was, that there is the proposed, there's one to the left of that, which shows you
Well,
the
the original?
patio, which is right here, this section here, that's been removed.
So then my follow-up would be to Jeff, not to you, Lenny. Jeff, just your opinion, is the additional drainage structures that have been built into this plan, in your opinion, mitigation enough to justify the additional permanent structure inside of the 50-foot with the offset of the patio coming out?
My question is, so the proposed structure itself minus the deck is the same size within the same footprint?
Exact same, yes.
The only difference within the 50 and 25 foot is the removal of the patio, but the added deck, correct?
And the patio itself is 1 floor above this. Okay, it's not on the ground, it's elevated, okay? And the thing is, then below it is all stone, so you have percolations
The proposed, not the existing.
proposed.
Correct.
Yes.
And this is the driveway?
Current driveway.
Yeah.
There was a driveway right here, this was the existing driveway right now. Now it's being cut back here.
It's
to
the
this
top
level.
one, or was it?
It was paved.
Swapping out a patio for a deck. My question is,
Okay.
Anybody else have any? Audience? Anybody in the audience like to speak to this? Seeing none, have a motion to close the public hearing?
I cannot.
Second? Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of closing the public hearing? 4 in favor. And 1 abstain. Motion. We have a motion.
take back over after this one.
And Aaron, I looked, I was here on the 15th of
Yeah,
February.
you're,
when this was-
yeah, you're fine. You can use this one, do this one.
I'll make a motion to approve 97 Shore Road, DEP file number 300-1188, with the standard order of conditions pursuant to the Wetlands Protection Act, the following special conditions: standard OC, perpetual conditions for restoration areas, certificate of compliance not to be issued until after 2 growing seasons to ensure that the restoration plantings have survived.
Second that.
Did you say the $5,000?
No, that's under the wetland, that's under the bylaw only. He's doing the Wetlands Protection Act now.
Yep.
Okay. I revert back to my, the Prevagen I'm taking, my old stuff.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Eric Gaspar abstain.
Ted Winglass in favor?
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin, not in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Okay.
All right, now try, what,
Give it a whirl. I'll make a motion to approve 97 Shore Road, DEP file number 300-1188, under the Sturbridge Wetland Bylaws, with the following conditions. The conditions noted above. Require a surety bond or deposit of money during the work to ensure conditions are met, funds to be returned, or bond to be released upon issuance of a certificate of compliance. $5,000, well, that's not in the motions. Compliance.
do I have a second?
I second that.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar abstain.
Ted Winglass in favor?
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Lenny? You're all set.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Can
folks.
you, you're all set, you can build now.
Thank you.
Almost.
Watch the ball game, too.
What you gotta do is get an order of conditions from them, which they'll send you. It has to be,
We're at 6:15, we're,
you
244
give
Podunk
them a
Road,
copy, they-
request
the
for,
building inspector
to
give-
amend an order of conditions. Addition of utility poles and tree removal, DEP file number 300-1167.
Get another meeting.
Property that was back on the water with the shed.
No, it's on Podunk Road where the corner of Podunk and
Oh, Lenny just did that one?
49.
Yeah.
49.
Yeah, it's brand new, it's sitting out there.
Yeah.
So you get, they send us an order of conditions?
They will send you.
Gosh, this is so slow.
You record it, Dick has an instruction, you record it in this way.
Which one is,
Conservation Commission is not the building inspector.
Right now.
Gonna be.
Oh, okay.
Lenny,
Yes,
go for it.
this is for,
Oh, wait, hold, time. Lenny, do you have your butter notifications?
I do, but I don't have the folder. I did it, I mailed it all out. I got the legal notice in the paper.
I know you have the legal
I
notice.
gave you copies of that, too. Should have.
The butter notification?
The what?
Didn't.
Okay, I've got it, but I don't have the folder, but I did do it. It's done.
Well, I know you did.
Yeah, right.
Can you produce them before the meeting is over for me? How's that?
Nope. How about the next meeting, Lenny?
Yes, I'll bring it in.
What?
I'll bring it in.
Next meeting?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll take a continuation until the next meeting. We'll do it then.
Okay.
Motion to continue the public hearing on DEP file number 300-1167 until April 18th.
Second?
Second that motion.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lenny.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no problem. It's my fault, I'm in the process of moving, and you can't imagine.
Take care, Lenny.
Okay.
So we're at,
Well, we have a few minutes, so we're gonna skip around. I'll call you David. You wanna go to, you wanna do the minutes?
yeah, let's do the,
Number 14, I believe.
the minutes of 1:25:24.
I was available.
All right, were you there?
No.
No?
That's the one Karsten was out, so we didn't
So we have
vote
four.
on that for the last one. And then 2:15 meeting, we didn't have,
Anybody
that
have,
we had, Roy
Corrections?
was out and Eric was out.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for January 25th, 2024 as written.
Second?
any discussion? All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Edwin Glass in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Carsten Stuber abstain.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Okay.
All right. Now to 2:15:24.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of February 15th, 2024 as written.
Second.
Seconded by Carson. Any discussion, any corrections? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar abstain?
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop abstain.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
And Ed Goodwin in favor. So we have three, so we're all set.
So Roy and Eric.
Yeah, don't let us hurry you.
Okay, sorry. What else can we?
Carson and I can go get a coffee if you want to slow down.
No, we have places.
the year, beer.
We do number 13 as well, the request for extension.
All right.
Oh. 13 is 51 Seneca Lane, request for an extension for DEP file number 300-1098. It is a vacant lot that has an approved OOC for a single-family home. They have not had, between funding issues and time constraints, have not been able to start the project. They're looking for a 3-year extension.
It's 3 years.
So we'll have this open for 6 potentially? Right, 3 plus 3?
Yes, so it expires, I believe, we have it
April 14th.
of this year.
So do we discuss it?
Yeah, go ahead. I thought he was.
Has there been any, you guys have been here longer than me, has there been any major changes to
Nothing's been done
wetland
with the lot.
bylaws in the last 3 years?
Bylaws, no, no. It's
Massachusetts for
everything,
sure.
it conforms to anything that, when it was
Doesn't.
approved.
Does.
It does.
Okay. So there weren't any waivers or exceptions at that time.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with it.
Pre-COVID time?
3 years, it seems to me every now and then I'll say to myself, well, we haven't done anything in 3 years. Why don't we give them another year to,
Ask for it again. Takes a minute to say whether you want to
Yeah.
keep it going or not.
That sounds reasonable. I mean, given everything, all the restrictions and problems that we had through COVID, it's not shocking that the project didn't get off the ground, so.
Yeah,
Maybe we middle it and do 2 years, give them some time.
that'd be fine.
Only 3 years. It's up to you.
I'd like to make a motion that we issue an extension for DEP file number 300-1098 for 2 years.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Carsten Stuber in favor.
For 2 years.
Ted, were you the second on that?
I was.
Okay. All right, now we can go back to number 3,
Glenn, you're up.
which I did receive a continuation request today for, since we haven't opened the hearing, we can postpone the hearing, or we can open with no discussion and have a continuation. I guess if you have a preference on that.
Can I speak to it briefly? I would just as soon get the, not open and continue it. There was 10 different notes that went to the engineer to revise the plan. So many notes with trees and such and everything else, the stairs. So we would ask that you continue and we open at the next meeting, as I requested.
So not open or open?
Not open. There's really no need to open if you, I believe.
Postpone, you can
Is it postpone is your term?
Anybody here for the, for this site? Okay, go ahead. I just don't want to.
Well, then I'm going to ask for the postponement for the 10 revisions to the plan to take place, and then we'll come in with the full plan 7 days prior to the next meeting.
That'd be great. You don't
Is it
have to take any action then.
Is it realistic to have a postponement to April 18th, or is it more realistic to have a postponement to May 9th?
If I could.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything immediately, so give the engineer, it's Jay Dubois, some time, a couple more weeks to get these revisions. He is straight out, so the client does not mind.
We'd really rather have the 9th.
Yeah.
May 9th?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. good.
So postpone to May 9th.
Thank you.
Eric, you want to make a motion to,
Do we need to if it hasn't opened? We
I-
probably
I-
take no action, right?
Take no action, we're just gonna
Okay, so-
postpone. He's asking for a postponement, it's fine.
Well, thank you.
May 9th, okay, take no action.
But now there's a little bit of time between, so we're gonna go move around again. We're gonna go to 12. I have to pull something up for
Are you
you.
going to what number?
12,
Number 12. 98 Gladding Road.
all right.
Gladding Lane, excuse me, FK 98 Leadmine Pond, request for a certificate of compliance, DEP file number 300-0113. Teresa Paquin, and that's it.
This is a historic order of conditions from 1987 for a house addition and some, a wall that was for this lakefront home. And we tabled it until we could go get some eyes on it. I have some photographs to share with everyone. Just bear with me for 1 second. This timber wall here you see on the left-hand lower corner, that, I believe that was part of what we're discussing as far as the old order. It's kind of loose to tell. Ed and I got a chance to go out there and kind of take a walk of the site. This is the view on the top is this deck they have right overhanging the lake. That's the view of it from the backyard. That's the house. Does appear that there are some modifications that have happened to the property since the original order in 1987. So since the detailed agenda was posted and since that time, I was able to find in the basement that we had some other projects that were approved through the commission already. So I have an as-built drawing that I'd like you to take a look at. I don't know how to get back over here. I would recommend that we utilize this drawing to kind of show what the conditions, site conditions are as they sit now. So. Kind of small, but you can see here that in the picture that, in the original as, order of conditions, where I'm moving my cursor here, that was where the addition had happened. The original house, I'm assuming, was some small little square right here. And then that timber wall, which is not, really shown here on the plan, but I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys how you wanna handle it, but they have had other projects here, and there are some as-built of the conditions.
Carson, you have a
So,
question?
when did this all happen?
The original order was from 1987. This picture right here is from, the 2015. This was a garage addition that they had put, and these are the conditions of the, showing that that deck that we saw, that was existing before, prior to, so conservation has been involved in this property, I guess, on many occasions and never discovered this old order, so I guess I would utilize this as-built here to show that these are the conditions, and the deck that we all saw was already on this plan in 2015, and there's now a garage, and it's very hard for me to confirm or deny any of the conditions for that original order.
So who brought this order up from
It's
1987?
being sold.
So the house has been sold, and the new owner now lives there, and part of the, sale of the house that was discovered on the deed. So the attorneys for the sale found this old order, and, there's money that's being held in an account until we settle this out.
Ed, you were on site. Were there any, other than we're flying blind here, were there any concerns with the land as it sets right now?
Well, if you go back to the picture of the dock, it's a question of what do you do, Chris? Right. This dock, there's lake under this dock,
Okay.
and this wall here, this deck, these stairs here, they don't comply with anything that you do.
Gotcha.
They're almost vertical.
And they never were approved?
Never were approved that I know.
Those stairs are still there?
What?
Those
This was
stairs?
condition, these are the pictures I took when I
Yeah,
went to
yeah,
check the
these are all
compliance.
new.
Wall is,
Yeah, so, but I'm nitpicking,
eventually.
So if
they're
it
gonna-
came to us today, we probably would look at this differently. But since it was on the plan in 2005.
This was 15, so not that long ago.
So, 9 years ago, this was on a plan.
But was that
Maybe a
approved?
question then, right?
Right.
Yeah, but,
I didn't argue.
The previous one, too, in 2009.
the only thing that came
There was
before
also
us-
there was also a septic system that went through, conservation in 2009, which also showed that
Those two
exact
things,
deck on the water
yeah.
on the plan,
So
and
my recommendation is that we walk by it.
But it has to be sold.
Let them complete
What?
their
It has to
transaction.
be sold.
Yeah, well,
it's already sold.
we could send it back to the building inspector and have him take a look at it, but that's,
I don't know. That seems. It
Really?
it seems unfair given the totality of everything.
make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we issue a complete certificate of compliance for DEP file number 300-10, or excuse me, -113 with no perpetual.
Because that was just the garage, right?
113 was what was this was for the house raise and rebuild, right? We
No,
think?
it wasn't the house and raise and rebuild. It was an addition on the original, lakefront cottage,
From 1987, we're approving.
Right.
In a wall that
So
doesn't
our
exist.
in a wall that doesn't exist anymore somewhere.
So legally, our only question is whether they complied with the 1987
And we have nothing to
condition, because they added this, but this is now, has nothing to do with the
Well,
Actually,
1987.
gone.
and from my point of view, legally, they don't comply because they didn't file.
No, but
But
the question is, before us is whether the 1987 condition was
We don't know what was filed.
required, and that was what? That was for the garage or whatever?
It was for an addition on the house that I can't really tell where. There's
So-
been many additions since.
Right, but I mean, so it probably doesn't concern the stair or the deck. So, I mean, the whole property may be not in compliance, but that's irrelevant for the 1987.
I didn't know what to recommend, so.
New homeowner and welcome.
I would just approve of the
You know, leave it
1987. I
hanging.
mean,
That's
Right,
that's
yeah,
not-
let's, let the new neighbor get out of jail free card, how's that? So, yeah, I'd like
but I
to,
assume it's, so we don't have any record of the 1987 at all.
Get out of jail.
Order of conditions, it
Yeah,
just don't
we do have a
know.
plan.
Yeah, we have
The
a,
1987.
Right, part of the improvements in 1987 or 6 don't exist anymore.
Right.
They've been removed.
Yeah,
I mean,
And then some of them we can't.
over.
Or built over.
Yeah.
right.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So we have a
we have a motion and a second.
Do we have a- do we have a
I don't want to
Yes.
point up the sale for that. no.
It's already sold. It's already sold.
It's all-
I don't think that you should include the waterfront in you should just, do the house.
Well, I'm not including the waterfront, I'm
I thought you
just,
said,
just the order of conditions.
say it again what you
I
said.
mean, the 19,
No.
I'd like to make a motion to issue a complete certificate of compliance for DEP file number 300-113.
Now, 300-113 is
The house addition and a stone wall from
house addition
1987.
and a stone wall.
Yes.
It's not a complete.
and the stone wall doesn't exist anymore. Just,
Might be part of this timber wall too.
Well,
I
we're not
can't
sure,
really tell.
we don't even know if it was ever built.
Without the number.
So you'd want to withdraw.
Well, you
and
can't-
then
I
If
don't
you want to
think
withdraw.
I think we have to approve it, otherwise the sale doesn't go through.
Plot, it starts with a fresh paint, coat of paint, essentially?
Essentially, yeah.
All right.
Try your
I don't,
motion.
I don't know that, I
No,
mean,
we're-
because we
No, it's
can,
never seconded.
essentially, I think what we need to do is just to agree that whatever has happened, we're not going to go for an enforcement order because we know what the standard is right now and encourage the new property owners to make sure that they understand they need to come to us for anything in the future.
The two other projects have a complete certificate of
Right.
compliance, so it's come before this board, not these particular board members, but it has come before this board on a few occasions, and, you know, now we look back and find old records before they didn't know, I guess,
Oh,
about
the
this, so.
digital world.
Right.
We can find this stuff.
So go ahead, what was your?
I'd like to make a motion to issue a complete certificate of compliance for DEP file number 300-113.
I'll second the motion.
And again, I would say that I would use the house lot and not the DEP file number, because the DEP file number is incomplete.
Okay.
But-
Why don't
and
we
you can't-
approve this to close it out
you can't-
legally, and then
yeah.
I'll make a second motion.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's on the deed of their house. If we don't use the DEP file number, we can't remove it from the
Okay,
deed.
fine. All right, then, fine. Go ahead, you're right. Go ahead, Eric. Or we got a
No, I
second.
already seconded it.
Second.
I
He
second.
doesn't have to say it.
We got 4 seconds.
All right.
Is there any further
Any
discussion?
further discussion? All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ted Winglass in favor.
Ed Gooder in favor.
Castle Stuber in favor.
Welcome to Sturbridge.
Yay.
Welcome to Sturbridge, Teresa.
She moved, and
Oh,
there's,
She's been in Sturbridge since
She's
before you were
moved.
born.
Oh,
and we just approved, she's moving to a place where she has an open order for this there. And-
gotcha. All right.
All right, now we're moved on to number 4. Back to 4.
300 Clock Road Extension.
Clock.
Notice of intent, after the fact approval for platform/deck structure, DEP file number, we don't have a file number?
Yeah, we do, sorry, not for the detail that
1187.
Oh, yes, we do.
we do. What is it, Jeff?
1187.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry,
No, it's on the details.
Okay, it's on the details.
on the real agenda.
All right. All right.
You're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Glenn Kowalski from EBT Environmental Consultants, and Mr. Ryan Stokowski, the gentleman that put the deck in that now owns this property. We did have, as you know, a hearing a couple of weeks ago, and there was request for more mitigation. We did add more, and what we'll bring in that we do have, which wasn't brought up at the last meeting, paper birch, saplings, 3-inch caliber, that we had placed on the lot in the area of the house, if you can, here's my pointer. And also high bush blueberry to add to mast crop adjacent to the deck and the infiltrator that was put on adjacent to the deck to absorb that new runoff. The deck, which is in front of the existing deck, it's just a platform. We have photos of it. There's no rails to it.
Well, we saw it. Everybody
This is
saw it,
it.
right?
You all saw it. We were taking out this set of stairs. That's where, and Mr. Stanley, we did send in, the Board of Selectmen did issue the dock permit for the temporary dock. I did send that to Conservation, so you have it in your file. And that's that. So that steps we felt was an important point to get some deleterious material that came in. And, well, you said 87 a minute ago, and 84 is when those steps came in. So we found that out. The adjacent property owner. This lady, so this lot was split quite a while ago, but she owned both. So that's your abutter that sold you this piece. 5 feet, there's drill holes. The deck, the temporary dock is 4 feet wide, will extend out. This is the plantings on both sides. We added 2 more there, and then we did explain at the last meeting that he would like to see the water, and so we added in, again, that removal instead of putting more bushes up in the front. And then the bushes on each side, common winterberry, high bush blueberry, is what we've added in there, and could be silky dogwood or northern arrowwood. I have to look at the plan. I know the first 2 are correct. And these we'd be requiring that they'd be at least 4 to 5 feet in height. We're not going to put little seedlings in there. High bush blueberry, winterberry, and my 3rd species, not sure why they're not showing right here, northern bayberry. So they all have forage crop value to them. And again, the birches are on the side. And we were hoping that, as Mr. Goodwin, you said, give me more so I might be able to approve it. We're hoping that the 4 that we're showing puts us over that edge of getting approval. You did have a short staff at the member short at the time. But not that we're going to counter you, Ed. I'm just hoping that we can get the vote. And that's the size of it. So this would be the access way. She gave us a letter, the lady that sold it, and we're only going to go in once to pick this up. It is hollow, and it's real just house steps that they put in there years ago to get the water, and there's some cinder blocks underneath them, and we'll pick it up. Brian Easold states that would be nothing for his smaller machine, a mid-size excavator. We calculated, I believe, 1,000 pounds through the engineer, Boston Engineering, Boston Civil. Mr. Stanley, I think, lives up mostly in Boston area.
Well, this is my only house. I'm a first-time homeowner. That's why I made this mistake. So, as you guys know, so.
All right.
You're on the lake for your first home. So.
Well, yeah, my first home. So now it has, I just went through the mass save and got my heating and my cooling, so now I'll be permanently moving there. But I haven't because it only had electric heat, which is too expensive.
Have you been living with your parents?
No, not with my parents.
I think he's
That's a joke.
I think he's a doctor?
No, so I work in healthcare for 15 years, right? So it's my first home.
We were just.
I made a
was giving
mistake.
him a nudge because his son is living with him still. So.
No.
So this is a filing after the fact, but we're asking for additional work beyond the after the fact, right? As well?
Yes.
It's all in one filing.
Yep.
For mitigation.
Right.
So we're doing the additional.
No work after that.
No work
They've
after.
already done, they put a platform
Yep. And it's there.
with a drip strip in it, and then the mitigation, if I could, Mr.
Okay, so what are we talking about at the dock then?
Remove, that's a set of stairs that was put in 84, that's gonna be picked up and removed from the lake. It's taking up land on the water body and floodplain, so we're gonna take that out. It's not a dock right now, it's a set of stairs.
Oh, okay.
We have photos in the, as
So
a
that's
photo.
the mitigation, is the removal?
Well, that'll,
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought
That-
something was replacing that. Okay.
no, well, eventually he'll put a temporary dock there, he just got a permit from the selectmen to have the irregular slide-in, slide-out dock. And so, get rid of the steps, that's actually the dimensions of them. And put in 6 forage crop bushes, put in, that would be paper birch,
Yeah, paper birch and the drip strip.
and, well, yeah, and the drip strip that goes around, which is already in.
Right.
No, so the drip strip is not in, that was the added feature that maybe Rebecca asked for.
Yeah, so Rebecca asked for 2 trees at the waterfront, and I only have 5 feet. So before she left, we were working with her, like, because that's not possible, you know, kind of thing. And so this is where we came up with this alternative plan, working with Aaron and Rebecca, of something that is, you know, equally good by removing the stairs, adding 6 bushes, adding the drip strip, adding the paper birches, kind of thing, to account for the fact that I only have 5 feet as opposed to 60. If I had 60, sure.
Right. Okay. Now, is it an improvement to take out those stairs? Or
Yes.
It is. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. I was just like, why don't we just leave them? But it's an improvement. Okay,
Well,
cool.
I read through that.
The stairs are cracking at the bottom. They're 84.
Okay,
They're old.
cool.
It's a land on the water body and bank improvement by taking them out.
Yeah, no other questions.
Was not old.
It predates you on the board, Ed. It predates you on the board.
Just by a year.
By a
Yeah.
year, but it does.
I know, I started my company in 86. I did get into regulation in 79, so it's not that long ago.
So I would recommend that we,
Well-
if you haven't seen it, I would recommend you approve it.
No, I'm good.
But I do have some advice for you.
Please.
Okay? 2 doors down, as you go around on the other side of the ramp, the boat ramp, one of your neighbors had some big pine. And one of them snapped in half and landed in the water. And it was in the water for maybe a year and a half. And she came in to get permission to have it removed. And the reason that she wanted to remove it, because all the fishermen were fishing around. So my point to you is that the trees you can keep in front of your property help the lake. So she hauled it out, and you know, but it's funny to have somebody come in and say, you know, like the fishermen.
The wildlife's too good here.
Yeah.
You always go for structure.
And it was just 2 doors down. It was just, you'll see it as you look up.
And she was really complaining about you out in your
What?
house. She's probably complaining about you out
Yeah.
Ed was out there trolling.
Absolutely. No, she was an old neighbor of mine, so. All right, all in favor?
Oh, we need a motion, we need to
We
close the
move
public
first.
hearing.
Somebody have to move, right?
Does anyone in the public like to speak on this? Okay,
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second the motion. Oh, sorry.
Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ted Winglass in favor?
Bishop in favor?
Carsten Stuber in favor?
And Ed Goodwin in favor.
With regards to the project at 300 Clark Road Extension, DEP file number 300-1187, I'd like to make a motion to approve the project with the conditions that were listed out in the detailed agenda.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
It does not say.
Ted Winglass in favor?
Bishop in favor.
So
Ed Goodwin, Carson.
Carsten Stuber in favor?
All right.
might have called that
With
out.
regards to the project at 300 Clark Road Extension, DEP file number 300-1187, I'd like to make a motion to approve the project under the Sturbridge Wetland Bylaw with the conditions already discussed under the Wetland Protection Act and a surety or cash deposit bond for $750. required for smaller projects.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Winglass in favor?
Roy Bishop in favor?
Carsten Stuber in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Like a little bit each year.
Welcome to town.
Thank you very much. Thank you. for your
Thank
time.
you. I will be a conservation warrior going on. You won't see me again for this kind of thing.
You know, when
all
if
the
we have
time.
an opening, we're always looking for youth to join the committees in town.
Yeah.
So
You might
want to get
You
involved.
might see me because you know, by our
Ed looked just like you when he joined.
state law, I can walk right down along
Oh, boy.
the front there and fish.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
Yeah.
I make friends with them though.
Chapter 91.
Yeah.
We were down there, for a tree, on my neighbor's property, and, so it was ice cold. There was ice on the lake, and there was about this distance of water, and I walked over to some guys that were over there. They had a ton of fish,
Mm-hmm.
right in front of your house. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Welcome to Sturbridge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have one more.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate
I'll be in touch.
All right, we are now at 640, 263 New Boston Road. Continued notice of intent, construction of a single-family house with associated appurtenances. EP file number 300-1166. Len, you're still with us.
One,
Don't touch the thing.
oh, is that why it says don't touch? Yeah. Is it too close?
Too close.
Thank you again. I'll take that right to
Ben,
them.
it's probably the right distance.
It is for loudmouths like me. So, thank you, sir. For an update, in Brandon's report, he did state on the third paragraph down that if we were following the water table in between March and April, and it was X amount of inches down, he'd have a second thought about this water table issue, whether you have hydrology. So we're waiting for that. In February, we had the water table was 30 inches down, greater than what he's asking for. So we're watching it for water table in the test holes in the little ravine at the bottom. There's still 2 more BVW data forms to come in. The last one showed that we were the predominance of upland plants, but then there was some discussion about were they buttress roots or adventitious roots, and because we do have an organic base that's been drained, we're working on some engineering calculation through USDA on what a 35-foot cut, how far back it will affect if it's a 2-minute per grade gravel. There's actually a book on it by USDA. So we already talked to people that train you at USGS personnel, Tom Paragallo, top wetland scientist, teaches at UNH, and turned us on to this book that farmers use it across the country and in Mass again. So how much you cut into soil, how deep, what kind of soil porosity you are, how far back it affects the land. That's how they used to drain agricultural fields, so they knew how deep to dig and what kind of soil. We're now working with this new document to show that the 35-foot deep cut in that Hinckley soil, that hydrologic soil group A, and what it does to the land above it. So there's a couple points still coming in. As you know, we did get easily successful 2-minute perk rate 2 or 3 with the perk and deep. We do appreciate that the commission we work with OPACUM and the commission to get that non-intrusive look at the soils through the perk and deep official with the Board of Health. And we're going to be wrapping everything up within the next month. This is being April. He did mention April. And so we'll bring it together. And we would ask for not one meeting continuance, but 2 to come in, so in 1 month.
May 9th.
May 9th.
May 9th.
Thank you, sir.
So you're interested in continuation?
We're requesting a continuation.
With regard to DEP file number 300-1166, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing until May 9th.
Second the motion.
Discussion anymore?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Winglass in favor?
Roy Bishop in favor?
Carsten Stuber in favor?
And Ed Goodwin in favor.
Thank you for your time again, always.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Got a DEP file number for Big Alum. Look at that.
Big Alum. Continued notice of intent, Big Alum Aquatic Vegetation Management, DEP file number 300-1189.
Looks like we have AJ from DEI on the computer here joining us. Hi AJ, can you hear us? No, I can't hear you. Hold on. I have the volume on.
Is this a little better?
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I think it's just something with the headphone.
Okay.
Yeah, so we, as we heard a little earlier, we finally got a DEP file number. The DEP file number came with 3 comments from the wetland staff that we addressed, and I'll go over them briefly right now. The first comment generally was about the process to approve emergent plant treatments in the lake. DEP just wanted a little bit more information on that. Basically, I explained to I did respond to DEP, and I explained to them that, you know, the process and the decision to treat emergent plants in Big Alum Pond is really based on if there is a new infestation that pops up, like something like Phragmites or purple loosestrife, something that is growing in the land underwater jurisdiction. But the Big Alum Association wants to try and get on top of, and I explained a little bit more about the process, the fact that, you know, the Conservation Commission needs to be alerted to that. It's not just something where the Big Alum Lake Association can just go and treat, you know, 10, 15 acres just sort of on a whim, and it needs to be in consultation with the applicator as well as the commission. The second question was about vegetative coverage in the lake. There was some concern about the amount of vegetation that was being treated. When I was answering that comment from DEP, I highlighted the fact that, you know, even though we have a maximum of 40 acres for the clasping leaf and or curly leaf pondweed, the actual amount of treatment to happen each year is supposed to be based on the surveys from the consultant. So last year there was only a maximum of 17 acres of curly leaf or of clasping leaf pondweed found. So depending on the results of the end of the year survey, if it's well under 40 acres, then the treatment's going to be most likely well under 40 acres. So we're not dealing with the same amount of treatment that we were before. Also, we noted on some, the natural shoreline of Big Alum, there's a lot of rocky outcrops, a lot of areas where there's not natural vegetation growth anyway. It's just the way that lake naturally is. So the normal standard of having 30% vegetated coverage throughout the lake is kind of hard for Big Alum to achieve. Technically, if you were to get 30% coverage of the entire lake, every single spot of the lake that could be shallow enough to grow plants will grow plants, and that's not necessarily the case based on some of the past surveys. So we explained that in a little bit more detail. And then we spoke about the last question was concerns for clasping leaf pondweed and some of the potential benefits to native flora and fauna. Clasping leaf pondweed does have some benefits to local birding and some local wildlife. Ironically, so does the invasive curly leaf pondweed. It's one of those things where invasives aren't always 1,000% bad for a lake. But the point we made to DEP was that monocultures of any species, regardless of them being native or invasive, do have detrimental impacts to lakes. In lake ecosystems, you want, and I'm sure this is the same in terrestrial, you want a nice mix, heterogeneity of tall growing plants, plants that are growing close to the bottom, plants where fish can easily move in and out of, dense stands. Dense monocultures of single species are just never never desirable in any scenario. So we addressed the comment by just kind of reiterating that point. So those are the 3 comments from DEP. And besides that, I'll take any questions on that. And I believe unless the commission, if there's any other questions that the commission has just about the submission.
Do we have a copy? Hold on.
I know the fee is paid. Thanks.
Did we get a copy of the response that he's talking about?
No, I don't think so. AJ,
Did
Yeah.
I forward that to you or no?
no.
Oh, I apologize. Let me forward it to you right now. I thought that was something he did. I copied you on.
Did DEP respond to your
They did, yeah.
comments?
No, after,
No, I know.
he talked to them on the phone.
Yeah, but DEP, what did they say?
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily.
Yeah, so DEP didn't respond to my I got an email from Julie again. I'm bringing it up right now. Basically, her, and I can forward this to you, Aaron, as well. Basically, saying that everything, seemed. I mean, they were. They basically just wanted to forward this on to the Conservation Commission, and she asked me an additional question about just palmweed species in general. But I will make sure that gets over to you, Aaron. I apologize. I did not realize that we didn't send that over.
Well, I felt like the DEP comments, we had some communication that he was addressing them, and I thought they were just giving you also that information that you should look into this. And the information that AJ provided at our last conversation with the mapping he provided and the treatment plan of talking about giving the commission yearly reporting and making a new plan based upon that survey at the end of the year, I felt like that was addressed. So I actually would recommend moving forward.
That's the way that I read it as well, because the biggest concern that we had when this original plan came to us was that it sounded as if they were asking us to write a blank check, but AJ kind of
Went over
what the order of operations is, and we're going to get to bless whatever happens at least annually. So I think I'm in agreement with the way that you read the DEP comments, that they probably didn't know that we had already addressed it in the open meeting.
Yes.
And had the same concern that they did.
No, but there were particular questions about invasive versus native species, and so I didn't think that we addressed that at all in our meeting. So I would like to know what DEP said to his.
Generally, DEP doesn't give a response back to the commission after, or the staffing after they make a comment. They just provide it to you, so I don't know, whatever he's.
But I would like to read then his comments to.
Yeah.
I mean, because we didn't really address, we got those comments from DEP after we kind of
Had the first discussion.
had the first discussion, and so, I mean, it sounded to me as if he addressed those issues, but it would be nice to see that somehow.
Yeah, would it be possible for me to share my screen to show you exactly what I wrote to DEP?
Well, I think what we're looking for. We're looking for what DEP wrote.
DEP more than likely
We're not
will.
gonna get a response from DEP.
No.
Right. We got the initial response. Those are items that they request that the commission review as part of it.
Right.
I think that based upon, I've reviewed the file, and I think seeing Becky's draft conditions that she brought forward for the last meeting, but then it was continued. I believe from what I've read, they were addressed on the supplemental information that was provided as part of that. That's where she came up with her recommended conditions. Because as I reviewed the conditions, I looked at DEP's original comments, and they appeared to have been addressed in information that we had received since, which DEP did not have at the time they issued their comments.
That's kind of how I remember. We were waiting for the DEP file number, end of the 15th.
Yeah, you might be right.
Right, and then they gave some comments.
I mean, in every project, when DEP gives comments, it's not like we respond to that and they give a rebuttal. It's just something that they give for you to review. And I feel like, and Jeff also feels like, what AJ provided was sufficient to satisfy everything, so.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because I actually looked at it, I didn't know that Becky had done conditions. So I saw DEP's comments, I reviewed the supplemental information, and then, so, oh, it's already here, and then realized that Becky's conditions were pretty much, what we felt was pretty accurate and pretty complete.
Okay.
Comments? I'm good.
Anybody in the audience? Guys looking for anything more? You're here for Big Allen, right?
Yeah, correct, yes.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing under DEP file number 1189.
Second motion?
Any discussion? I would like to get, Alejandro, I'd like to get what you got in writing from DEP with regard to, you know, depths and that, and like, and the 40 acres versus, you know, what you're treating.
Yeah, I can forward all my correspondence over to Aaron to take a look at.
Yeah. Good.
Circulate that around.
Circulate it? Sure.
Thank you.
Do we approve them or do we not move forward?
Vote on closing?
We're gonna approve it.
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ted Winglass in favor?
Roy Bishop in favor? Ed Goodwin in favor?
Carsten Stuber in favor?
With regards to the project, Big Allen Pond, DEP file number 300-1189, I'd like to make a motion to approve the project and issue an order of conditions with the conditions already laid out by our agent.
Second the motion?
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ted Winglass in favor?
Roy Bishop in favor. Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Thank you, AJ.
Thanks, AJ.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, AJ.
Have a good one.
Yep, take care. We're now at
Long end.
19 Long Ave, continued notice of intent, installation of a well, DEP file number 300-1190.
I have a revised site plan to bring up, and Scott is joining us online. I'm just going to share my screen here.
Thank you.
Take care.
Why isn't this working? No. Stop moving around to me. Okay. Share my screen. Why wouldn't this work? There we go. Oh, my screen is being shared. Scott, do you have see the plan up there?
I do. Thank you,
Okay,
Aaron.
good. All right.
All right. Thank you. So we had continued a few weeks back waiting a DEP file number, which we did receive with a couple minor comments I'll go over in a second. Just a quick review of the project. Mr. Germain has the shallow well behind the deck there. You can see on the plan that has high bacteria. He cannot use it. He recently purchased the property to the south, small lawn area, so that he could install a new well and also an area for his grandchildren to play. The proposed well is 29 feet from the bank of Cedar Pond. There's no BVW in this area. We are requesting a waiver for structure within 50 feet, although I'm not certain that it actually meets the definition of a structure. We have requested that. The well location within the 50 feet was chosen to limit the trench length. Again, if we swing it out and meet the setbacks, we'll have a longer trench, more earthwork. And again, he does not, he preferred to not have the 18-inch high pipe sticking up in the lawn play area for his grandchildren. So that's why we're seeking the waiver. The DEP comments were minor. If the spoils pit is to remain after the drilling of the wall, they wanted to see more erosion control barriers. The spoils pit, the well drillings are basically mud. They'll go in the pit, and then we have a note on the plan, the pit will be covered in topsoil and seeded. So those will not remain on the site. And requested to show the water line on the plan. We had shown that before, but we clearly have it labeled here. Those were the only comments from DEP. And if you have any other questions, I can try to answer them.
Eric, you want to start?
So, where is the proximity to the lake, where the structure is? I see it, but is it 29 feet?
Because I've been on site.
Okay.
It's 29 feet.
Yeah, there's a retaining wall there, Eric. There's no BBW. The retaining wall serves as the confining bank for the pond.
This is the pond.
It's 29 feet to the nearest resource area.
There's a surface well, you know.
Okay.
Those are the ones Lenny and I grew up with, right, Lenny?
And just to add, at Aaron's request, we've added a barrier at the existing well for when that is decommissioned.
Yeah.
What they've done is they've gone 29 feet to this point and said they want to put, this is all their land and this is all open here. And they don't want to go the 50 feet. It would require them to be like here, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Is there any restriction to putting it at the 50 feet? I mean,
No.
is there, other than aesthetics?
No.
Oh. Okay.
We have the 25, we have a 25-foot setback from traveled ways, we're showing on the plan, and we have a 50-foot pump offset from the pump that's in front of the house.
There's still area there, as you can see.
I don't know.
Right.
What's the point you
It
made?
is, I mean, I guess we were just hoping, it's a 4 to 6 inch diameter pipe. He was hoping it'd be 18 inches above the ground, I think that's the requirement, you know. He just doesn't want to put it, you know, he wants the kids to be able to play ball and stuff in the lawn, so, you know, that's the proposal. And again, the trench, the earthwork would be, is minimized, being in that location as opposed to putting it further from the house, so.
I mean, if we just move it 20 feet, where's the,
Well, the 50-foot buffer it says approximate is here. This is the 50-foot buffer.
right, but if we put it just outside of the 50-foot buffer, we're basically adjacent to the swing set. There's not a lot of running around, or you're going to run into the swing set too. I just don't know that that's a compelling enough reason to put a new structure inside of 50 feet. I get the desire from an aesthetic standpoint, but I don't know that I necessarily buy the reasoning that it justifies us breaking our 50-foot no new structure. It is a structure, you know, and it's gonna. I would like to see it outside of 50 feet myself, since there's no reason other than aesthetics to
Well, safety, not
Can you
aesthetics.
play ball here?
Safety, he's saying.
Right,
not
I just don't know that I buy the argument, because where you're putting it to the swing set versus where you'd be putting it on the other side of the swing set is basically the same, in the same circumstance. If they're going to run into the pipe, they're going to run into the swing set. That's right. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
I guess if you're gonna move it 20 feet, why not move it out to the 100 foot? Then they can still play
50,
ball.
Yeah, 50, yeah. That's a
Right.
possibility too.
It's at the end of the,
Oh, the
end of the landscape.
100-foot buffer is
Yeah.
way out here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some other number, what you're saying. It doesn't have to
There's
be.
a 25-foot step back from the road required for the well.
What's the setback?
So
He
we,
said there's a
we
25-foot.
couldn't get it out there. We wouldn't be able to get it out that far, so.
Roy?
No, I'm with Eric. I don't think there's any reason why we
Yeah.
need to grant a waiver if it's just aesthetics and
Carson?
optics.
Could they put it here also?
Again, we thought the commission would rather see the earthwork minimized also, but we can, I'll wait to hear a comment from the commissioners.
But
could
are
put
you,
it here.
are you looking for a continuation, or are you looking for a vote?
Well,
You've heard
if
comments.
all the commissioners are in agreement that they would prefer to see it moved, I think we would ask to continue, and I'll consult with the engineer to see if we can do something else.
Yeah, it appears to me that that would be the right call, from what I've heard. Lenny?
Where's the sewer line?
The sewer pipe's right there.
In the front.
It's town sewer.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about with regard to the 25-foot? So let's say they come back and, okay, we're going to move it outside the 50. Is there anything else in here that we want to talk about?
No.
Decommissioning, everything else looks good?
Well, they have to decommission the old well, so
Yeah.
Good.
we'll just
Yeah.
use best practices
Good
for
point.
that.
If we want a continuance, do we want it one meeting? Will that give the engineers
Yeah.
enough time?
Yes.
All right.
Well, then, with regards to 19 Long Avenue, DP file number 300-1190, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing until the 18th of April.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of a continuation?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Goodwin Glass in favor?
Roy Bishop in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. We are now at 241 and 245 Main Street.
No, you missed one.
200 Haynes.
Oh, did I miss it?
200 Haynes.
Hold on.
200 Haynes, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it was Freudian that I missed it.
That tiny little project?
Yeah. 200 Haynes Street, continuation, SWB, notice of intent, construction of a commercial solar facility with associated appurtenances.
So we do have Adrienne Lennon here from BSC Group. She's joining us online. We also have Brandon Faniff from Ecosystem Solutions. He was our peer review for this project. Since our January 4th hearing, the project has now been put before the planning board and approved. We have a revised set of plans that I've provided to you, also a response letter to the comments made at our January 4th meeting. And I think that's it, and I'll let Adrienne go from here.
Okay?
Thank you, Ed. This is Adrienne Lennon, Senior Scientist with BSC Group, representing the applicant and the project. I think you summarized the progress of this application pretty well over the course of the spring. We have arrived at an agreement with the planning board with regards to the scope of work, the stormwater management system, the landscape design, the entrance, the construction sequencing, and et cetera, and have received a decision from the planning board. So looking forward to closing the hearing tonight, and respectfully request you issue an order of conditions under your local bylaw. Thank you.
Okay.
I guess before we ask if you guys will have any questions for Brandon, I guess, I don't know if you have any questions for.
Well, I read through
Adrian,
the response, and I had some comments and some questions around that. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the response. Can you bring it up?
The The actual language or the plan?
No, not the plan, the actual language. I was looking at page 5.
Page 5.
All right.
What number was it, Ed?
5.
The number 5?
Yeah.
Yep, right there.
That's right there.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute here. Good. You focus that a little bit, huh?
I don't
Back
know
it
if
up
I
a
can make it bigger, but. Number 5 just says include the long-term operation and maintenance plan as an in perpetuity special condition. Is that what
Yeah.
you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
BSC's response to that was BSC 3/20/24 response.
Yeah.
The 3/7/2024 decision of the planning board includes the following condition of approval. Number 14, prior to ground disturbance, the stormwater operation and maintenance plan shall be submitted to and approved by the DPW director with proof of such approval provided to the planning department. The applicant will provide the same to the Conservation Commission.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of us being tag-alongs there. Adrian, I think we'd like to look at that too.
Oh, yeah, I would, you certainly make your,
Sorry, you broke up?
that's fine. I'm so sorry. Make it your own special condition, by all means.
Yeah, okay, and then go down to number 7, slide down, page 5, number 7. Let me see here.
In CMG's comment 17, they state that the berm elevation and infiltration basin 1 should be the height that a minimum of 1 foot of freeboard be provided for the 100-year storm event. Given the very steep slopes leading down to the co-op and residents associated with it, I recommend increasing this height, if only to be overly cautious of a significant precipitation event. That was
Does
CMG's
that,
comment.
Adrian, does that bring into play our slope bylaw?
It doesn't, because
Does not?
it's part of the, not the existing condition.
Not- Say again?
It does not, because it is part of the design and not the existing conditions.
Part of the design, not the existing conditions.
I don't understand.
Meaning the existing conditions, Adrian, are less than an 8% slope, and with the design, it's creating a greater than 8% slope?
That's what she's saying.
No, that's not correct.
Okay. That seemed as if what you were saying, I'm sorry.
What are you saying, Adrian?
So the recommendation here, given the very steep slopes leading down to the co-op, recommend increasing the height is the recommendation on the design.
To recommend.
The design already conforms, is the point.
Oh,
It actually is, it's volume for well above the 100 percent. Anecdotally, my engineer actually ran it for a 1,000-year storm.
so I think to assist you with that, I think, our bylaw that says 8% slope just means that we have jurisdiction there. So she's saying that the design of it is what they're addressing here, not our jurisdiction, that it's now our jurisdiction. She's already saying that it was.
She's creating a slope that greater than, that makes her.
No.
So number 7 just is about stormwater, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And so our advisor recommended that even though your project seemed to comply with regulations at the moment, that maybe we err on the side of caution, and given that it rains so much that the 100-year stormwater happens every year, or increase the size of the stormwater protection. Is that, do I read that right? And you say that we don't have to do that, right?
You don't have the authority to design a project.
Right. Okay.
You have to respond to the design.
So you basically say, good try, but we don't have to do that.
Well, what I'm saying is we have met the performance standards set forth.
Right.
It's been approved by the stormwater peer review, who represents the planning board, who is the actual authority to adjudicate stormwater in your community. You do have some influence over your opportunity to do stormwater in the commission under your bylaw, but you do not have the authority to require or redesign a stormwater system for an engineer. This particular basin is largely oversized already.
Well, I would also just add that the commission does have under their bylaw, erosion and sediment control is an interest of their bylaw. So yes, stormwater causing erosion and sedimentation is an interest of them. But
All right, going over that, go to page 6.
page 6, that would be the next page here. Okay.
And, let me see what it... One 1124. Bring it up a little bit.
Go down
Right.
to this, summarized comments from Sturbridge Crossing.
Yeah.
What was it that you wanted to address in that?
Yeah. I guess I had concerns over the proximity of the leach field. I think that's where that comes into play.
We can always ask Brandon for his input as well to assist you with this.
Yeah, maybe that's, I didn't want to bog this down too much. And then I had, on page 7, I had number 2.
CMG number 31,
Beg your pardon?
where it says pre-development regarding CMG number 31.
Yeah.
The applicant was asked to correct and meet the 200-foot buffer setback from Sturbridge Crossing. Applicant responded that the site plans were adjusted accordingly. Please explain how. Comparison and number of rows in the array changed from 47 in the application to 41 in the south border wetland map. Is this what the applicant was referring to? From what point was the 200 buffer measured? And they revised the plan.
Yeah, and slide up to 1. Page 1.
Page 1?
Yeah. And second paragraph. That will have. Actually,
You have a hard copy of this, Jeff, over there? Maybe
I don't
Ed
have
can
it now.
Ed can look,
Yeah,
Jeff has it.
Yep. Pass my. No, that's all right.
Yeah, here.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
I guess, I mean, there's a few questions that I have, but just the overall comment. I thought that the response was very dismissive, so I apologize, Brandon, for being dismissive of your professionalism and also dismissive of this commission and our purview. I did not like the responses that basically did not answer any of the questions or the concerns, just basically referenced that the planning board had approved the project and it met the standard of the state bylaw. We know in Sturbridge, the Sturbridge bylaw has a higher bar of entry. So there were a number of things that just the questions weren't answered. Like one specific instance was discussing of the silt sock and the silt fence, and the response was that there is a silt fence and a silt sock on there. What the question was around the construction and materials that were being used for the silt sock and the silt fence, and making sure that they conformed with what was in the best interest of the wetlands. So there was no answer there for me to even evaluate whether or not the applicant was taking the question seriously or not. I also I'm still stuck on, from the response in number one, where we asked for some sort of sequencing, right, in a construction plan that we can review, and it was dismissive to like, well, you don't need that. Well, we can ask for it, so you don't need that. It doesn't seem to be a response that, really sells me on the idea that I should approve this project, because it was an ask. And not to mention the fact that the existing access road, I don't know that I've ever gotten a full explanation of why we can't start with the existing access road and go in, as opposed to creating all the disturbance by creating the new access road and then going all the way into the other side. So, there was probably 10 or 15 things in this response that really had me offended for Brandon's professionalism. He was brought in to be our eyes and ears, so his anecdotal stories and answers I value, specifically about the pollinator mix that was discussed. If his belief is what is being suggested in the plan is not going to take hold, is not going to create enough armor, and is not going to stop the sedimentation, I have to take that seriously, because he's supposed to be our third eye on this situation. The other thing is that, heading off into the retirement community, that 20-foot drop off.
Yeah.
I was there on site this week and saw streams. Right now, Brandon referenced that there's not necessarily streams, but there's the potential for streams that feed into other streams off property and in other wetland systems. I witnessed that there was actually, and I realize it's been really wet, but I note that there was a significant amount of activity down there that was creating a stream condition that probably is indicative that we need to be really careful about making sure that there isn't any sedimenting down through there. So I don't know that I'm comfortable with a yes vote at this point, because I don't know that I got answers to my questions, other than, excuse the expression, with all due respect, Adrian, snark towards our third-party assessor, and giving more deference to the planning board than and really just going and completely bypassing the Conservation Commission. So for that reason, I don't know that I can support the plan as it stands right now until I get the questions answered that Brandon has laid out in a format that I can actually read through and not have to make assumptions about.
Ed?
I mean, I don't think I can articulate how I felt reading the response letter. The hair was up on the back of my neck. I just felt like we were kicked to the curb. Our engineer that did an extensive evaluation of the project. I do think, some of the references specific to his comments, they're important, whether they're relevant to approval or not. They're important to me and the community. I'm a believer in business and business development, but I'm also a believer that we've got a whole group of residents that sit at the back end of that property that I'm still not convinced won't be damaged long-term by that project. That's where I sit today. I agree. I don't think they answered the question specifically, and it's just been a game with us till they get their approval through the planning board.
Roy?
What Ted and Eric said, same thought. They didn't answer the mail.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I mean,
Well, how do you want to proceed? You want to hear from Brad?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear his response to this response. I don't know that he has anything in this response to respond to personally, but I'd love to hear his response to it.
Yeah.
that was the suggestion, right, to give it back to Brandon?
My suggestion was that we continue with the, unfortunately, the funds for Brandon have been exhausted, but I asked Brandon to provide us a additional proposal to assist us with further review. And he provided that to me for us to continue, and I guess that's what I would recommend, that we continue with his,
I also read the applicant
Brandon,
didn't plan
Brandon,
on
you got
getting
any
access.
input that you could give us as to how we could move this forward? What's the
Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll start by saying, like Bartles and James used to say, thank you for your support. I think that Adrian is a fine person and professional, but I was also disappointed in the response. I'll say that I haven't had the time to present you a written response to the response, but I think I could probably do it pretty summarily right now, and by saying that I think my original report to the commission, my original comments are still valid today. And in the response, I think there were a lot of pro forma answers. A lot of almost every response that had some kind of statement saying that Brandon's anecdotal answers were not applicable. They're not anecdotal, they're qualitative, all right? Because the commission has to make a decision based on whether or not significant adverse impact could occur in wetland resource areas, including the review of all potential cumulative impacts to resource areas through the proposed project timeframe, right? So there's no mathematical equation or matrix involved here. You have to make qualitative decisions, which is where my answers come from. There's a reason why I didn't get a degree in engineering. There's a reason why I'm a biologist. There's a lot of qualitative analysis involved here, which you all have to take into consideration in majority rules. That's why there's not just one person on the board. I was reading it, and at one point I had to start counting, and I noticed that the words planning board were mentioned 19 times. The Massachusetts stormwater standards were mentioned 24 times, but section 365-3.7 of the Sturbridge bylaw regulations, which is the regulations on stormwater standards, was mentioned 0 times, right? So, regarding stormwater, the Conservation Commission has controlling authority over stormwater per that section 365-3.7. And it's, stormwater isn't something just unique to the planning board. So it's my opinion the commission has the authority to create conditions compelling action by the applicant. For example, does the infiltration basin have an emergency overflow spillway? Is there a forebay? These are things that are specifically mentioned in the bylaw regulations. Regarding the silt fence, I made comments about, could you utilize root tailings? Because they can be used as ground cover to prevent erosions and sedimentation. They can be created as berms to help with the same. And it seems like those comments were dismissed, saying that, well, we put erosion controls at the project perimeter. And I personally do not think that is nearly enough.
May I ask a question? So, in order to move forward and I guess to get out of this ad hominem and anecdotal business, what are we supposed to concretely, what would you concretely suggest to us as maybe something that can be put into ameliorate and move us forward? Because I mean,
it might. Yes, I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so because in some sense, concretely, what do we have to do? Because I mean, in terms of stormwater, I mean, from my perspective, if a stormwater expert thinks it's okay, then I don't really have much authority to change that. But even though I kind of know that probably the stormwater regulation need to be improved, but so in terms of our bylaws, what can we do, what can we ask for, and what should we ask for? So that maybe there's some kind of compromise moving forward possible.
Right. Well, one of the things Adrian was saying tonight is that you couldn't design the project yourself, right? But the commission has the ability to condition, right, which may include design changes that, you currently don't like the design, but if they did A, B, or C, then it would be acceptable, right? So if you have anything in mind in that regard, I think that is something that is acceptable, that would hold up upon appeal. You have to think about what those things might be. I think that my very first report to the commission had a lot of things for you to all think about, and regarding the design, and you come up with a hit list of conditions that if you do this, then we would feel more comfortable and we can condition it and approve it. So I don't know if we even have it. You want to be here till midnight tonight, we could go through it all, but it's going to take a while.
Ed, could I hear from Jeff on what?
Oh, you want to hear from Adrian?
Adrian.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Sorry.
Adrian wants to talk.
Thank you. Aaron, I don't know if you had the opportunity to share with the commission. Earlier this week, I did send Aaron a list of special conditions that could be included in the order that would support, I think, the interests of the commission and also the ability of the order to hold up. They're actually conditions that are found on EDP and are typically used in appeals under the Wetlands Protection Act by the EDP, by the DEP. They're readily available to people in the industry, people who are regulators. So I decided I would make that available to her to try to help her because I know she's a little overwhelmed right now. And also because it captures a lot of the things that we've been talking about in this process. So you're welcome to use all of them. I think I highlighted all of them that were relevant. I sent her everything that included coastal resources and open pile foundations and things like that are not relevant to this project or any project in Sturbridge for that matter. But there were quite a few that were available to you, and you're welcome to adopt all of them.
Yes, she did send that to me. I got it after I had already released the notes and everything, so.
So we should take a look at it?
I'd like to look at it. If
Yeah.
it's a reference material, but I'd like to hear from the agent too. If you had a chance to look at this and did you read the original?
Welcome to the frying pan,
Did
Jeff.
you read the original information provided by Brandon? And maybe, I know you too probably been a little bit busy, but I'd like to hear your thoughts in terms of maybe what you developed to date.
So I will preface that I am a design engineer, so I am a licensed engineer.
But you aren't allowed to redesign this.
Right. And so, and having represented both conservation commissions and planning boards in the past, it's not uncommon for the stormwater engineer, who also was the conservation's engineer, CMG, reviewed it for planning board and for conservation for stormwater. So I think stormwater, at least associated with the planning board's review, he sort of would have had to review it for both planning and conservation in mind, for the stormwater only, nothing else. I would say that when I reviewed the response letter to us of Brandon's comments, the one thing that I would have expected how the plans were revised to meet your comments from Brandon's comments, and even if they were revised at planning board, how those were revised to meet both planning boards and your concerns. And I don't think the response letter actually did that. I think the response letter said the planning board, they were approved at planning board, and that was the response. But it should have been, I would have expected, since you haven't seen this since January 4th, and there's been several, at least one, if not more, planning board hearings in between, you don't know what was changed, how it was changed, and why it was changed. And I think that would have been important in the response letter to Brandon's comments, because some of those may have been addressed. We don't know. And it would have made your review and look at it much easier if the response was clear. And I'll just say, whatever what number one is, I don't have it in front of me, but number one was X. This is how it was revised to meet planning boards, but this is also how it meets your comment and concern.
Right.
That's what I would have expected. Then it would have been an easy, yep, done, yep, no problem. It would have also made Brandon's look at it much easier, because he would have been saying, yep, I agree with that. Yep, I agree with that. Nope, I don't agree with this. At least that's how I read it. I don't know how the plans actually address any of Brandon's comments, but I don't know if they do or don't.
Have you had a chance to go out on that site?
I have not been on that site yet.
And I think Adrian had her hand up if you wanted to go to her.
Adrian, you're on.
Thank you. I just want to remind the commission with regard to stormwater in this peer review, those comments are an exact copy of the stormwater peer reviewer's comments. They're just echoing the comments of that other firm where the stormwater peer review is taking place. So they're not actually Brandon's comments, because Brandon did not review the project for stormwater because he's not an engineer. They are the comments of the peer reviewer that was conducting the stormwater peer review in front of the planning board, and you are correct. It does also incorporate the interests and concerns of the Conservation Commission by virtue of it being captured under the planning board. Now, there were multiple reviews back and forth between the peer reviewer and the civil engineer on our team. I am simply not privy to the number of steps that were involved in trying to arrive at a suitable stormwater design that the peer reviewer was satisfied with for the planning board decision. So I can't even offer that information, really, if I wanted to. What I can offer is the response to say that they did come to a consensus that the design as it evolved and was revised according to the plan set that I provided to you and that is referenced in this report does achieve exactly what that peer reviewer was aiming to achieve. So the questions from the first submission have been answered. That's all I can offer. And the reason I haven't been coming back to hearings in front of the commission is because we took a pause so that the project before the planning board be adjusted as needed without two adjustments happening in tandem at the same time. Because the Conservation Commission would always be behind that, because the peer reviewer for the planning board is really driving that process, not the peer reviewer on the commission as far as stormwater goes. Now, the peer reviewer for the commission has the priority scope on the wetlands delineation. But as far as that went, there were no concerns, no flags were moved, nothing was changed on the wetlands delineation, and that didn't impact the plan on the opposite either. That's all there is. We could, continue or give a blow-by-blow, because you're talking about like daily emails back and forth between the peer reviewer and the civil engineer on our team that I have absolutely no access to.
Adrian, in my time here as working in conservation, we always work in tandem with the planning board. I actually have emails from the town planner to I think it's the engineers that you work with, stating, she didn't recommend you close the planning hearing until the conservation plans were more solidified, because if that happened, they would have to go back to planning. Usually we're more in tandem. We don't hold the conservation discussion and go to planning and allow them to approve everything. That's generally not how it happens. That's usually more in concurrence, not one or the other.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, but in this case, there were no wetlands flags to move, impact the plan.
Well, we got
All right.
Well, and I mean, respectfully, my retort to that would go to page 4, the response to the supplemental comments on the November 2nd CMG report. These, number 1 and number 2, I don't believe the silt sock, compost, filter socks are enough to control. That's absolutely under our purview to make sure that we're protecting the wetland, right, from erosion, and there was no answer in there. Number 2, sedimentation control should be placed at a minimum 5 feet off of any proposed slope.
Yeah.
The response was, again, another non-answer, in my opinion. So those are absolutely within our purview, and I can't get myself to a point where I can read through this and really make a decision off of it, good or bad, because I don't know that I have the answers. I got a bunch of non-answers, right? Or if there was an answer in there, it was planning and state bylaws already override you, which may be true, but it was not explained in a method that I could wrap my simple brain around.
Well, how do we proceed from here?
Well, I mean, she can call for a vote, or we
Get a
can ask for a continuation.
Yeah.
We probably should hear from the crowd too.
Barbara, you want to speak? No? You sure?
I think she's.
No? Okay.
She said she wanted.
All right.
Your public
she,
Ed.
she did get on.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Barbara.
Can you hear me?
State your name and address for the record.
Okay, Barbara Murphy, 30 Bentwood Drive. I don't have much to say that is different than what I've heard from the commissioner and peer reviewer, but the only things that I would want to answer, would also want to see addressed is the same kind of feeling that any kind of way to question it wasn't really answered. So when I asked, how were the plans changed to accommodate the Conservation Commission's concerns? We just said, we just did it and go look at the map, and I was just looking for a little bit more you know, I mean, we even said in the letter, we saw that the array was changed from 47 rows to 42. Is that what it is? And there wasn't anything very specific. My other concern was that we had asked in letters to please put elevation markings on the 2 to 76 Brentwood property, so that we could see if this runoff was really, why they thought that the runoff was going to go the way it was going to go, the way they stated. I wasn't satisfied about that. And then also, we had also, even a commission member, along with our board, did request that they come to the site to take a look at, to verify their engineering here. And so I just feel as though their responses, I guess the term dismissive is the right one. It seemed to just fly in the face of what we wanted, what a commission member has said they wanted, and what Brandon had also recommended. And the final thing I would just close with is that his position about what happened with another property where the silt gave way and it traveled, I might have this wrong, but I'm pretty sure he said it traveled 3/4 of a mile. I just think that that's something to be taken seriously, and to just simply say, well, the DEP doesn't say you have to, it's just not very satisfying. I do think it would be better if they were to address that, especially getting a bond. There is language in that response letter that says that they think that that from the planning board's point of view, they were going to get a bond, but it's a decommissioning bond. Yeah, and it isn't a bond to take care of the situation that Brandon had outlined was a real possibility. So I think all of those things are things I would emphasize.
Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Jim Waddick, 56 Brentwood Drive, and I'm the chairman of the board of
You can sit
trustees.
right down and use that mic there.
And I'm on the board of Sturbridge Crossing as well. And I made notes after I printed this out as soon as it hit the Concom's website. And Eric, I could have sworn you were reading from my notes when you opened your opening statement, because I have all that stuff right here, all the comments, so I'll just let those go. I'm not anti-business.
Listen to Eric anyway, so.
Okay. And Ted had the same comments, but I'm not anti-business. I worked for 35 years in manufacturing management in an optical company in Southbridge, so I dealt with DEP, I dealt with EPA on a regular basis. But I found this dismissive as well. That's the only word I could use for it that was kind. And I thought it was neglectful towards the commission and towards the peer reviewer. But I know Sturbridge because I live here. So anyway, the one comment I would make is initially we asked that, and we were dismissed, that they take a look at our leach field. It's in the northeast corner of our property that services 6 units. And the response was, well, we're more than 82 feet away, so we don't have to do that, so you're on your own. So I walked over there last weekend. I waited, and it didn't rain for several days, and I walked over, and I walked into the woods, and I took pictures, and I forwarded them to a member of this commission. And there's a stream running there, right at the end of our parking area where the garages end, and it drops off about 15 feet, and there's nothing coming out of the drain pipes that, you know, from the parking lot of the units, their gutters, and their downspouts. And I followed it all the way across, over 200 feet across our border, into the next lot, which is 30 Mashpog Road, which abuts this project, for another 200 feet or so, and that stream is meandering along there. Now, I don't know if anyone identified that stream, but it's downhill, downslope, from where all this water is going to be flowing, and it's an active stream. Now, I don't know if that's a consideration. I don't know if anyone saw it. I walked over there and looked, but I don't know if anyone has looked at that from either side of the conversation. So I'm just pointing that out now, and I just found it this past weekend because I took the time to walk through that leach field that was not supposed to be an issue because I know the water is coming down that hill. So, and I know that 30 Mashpog Road, no one bothers with that because it's 28 acres all by itself, so God knows what the impact's going to be on that. So those are all the comments I have. Okay, thank you.
we need to ask for continuation
Or a vote.
or a vote. Adrian?
Commissioners, I guess my question for you is, what more do you think you're going to get out of the application in advance of for a continuation in advance of a decision? I did send your current acting agent an entire suite of available special conditions that hold traction. I'm happy to read them to you right now.
That was me.
As far as improving the plan set or the project or its application at all, I'm not sure what's possible to do that, to make that happen. So I wouldn't know what to come back with.
Can I address it? I mean, I don't know that I could be more clear, but I'll be this clear and succinct. I have 9 pages, I think it was. What was the, how many pages? 7 pages of no answers, in my opinion. I would like to see this letter responded to within what we are asking for, or at least what I am asking. I'm only one vote, but
No, I think there's consistency in what you said. I think Ted, he's nodding, and he's nodding.
And in addition to that, I kind of like what Jeff was saying. Where within the changes that were made through the course of events with the planning board, where were there adjustments that could have addressed some of Brandon's comments? If those could be intertwined in Brandon's comments, right? So we can point to this change was made pursuant to a conversation with the planning board, but also addresses Brandon's concern here. Aces, because then I can actually follow what is being answered, and also read through the questions and understand exactly what the concerns are. Because again, the silt sock and the construction of that silt sock and the construction of that silt fence was the concern that Brandon raised, and all we got back from an answer is there's a silt sock and there's a silt fence on there, but didn't talk about the construction of the materials and whether it was biodegradable and whether or not it met the concern of our third party. So that's my request. Take this letter, put it in the shredder, and start over again.
I would concur, and I don't think we need email transcripts of daily changes. What were the changes that brought it to a condition where it met approval?
Right, summary changes.
Plus, we need that.
I mean, I can provide you the listing she gave me
Happy to get a
along
copy of
with
that.
the full planning board decision. I mean, it's available, I think, online, but I have it. If that interest, that would help.
Sure.
Anything, I
Make it
can
easy
provide that
for
to you.
us. We're old.
I mean, if a word of advice, and it might be a question of approaching the commission and the tone, and sometimes it's easier to give a little bit in order to move forward. I mean, that's just me, but I'm just, in terms of dealing with controversy, it doesn't always work just trying to run through the wall. Sometimes bending a little bit might work better. If that's my impression of the conversation that we have, right?
Yep. Adrian, it's up to you, I think. We've kind of given you some of the areas we need to get into, changes we're looking for.
It's a question of politics.
I'd like to just
Glad you said
make
that.
one note.
Thank
I don't
you for
even know
saying
that I'm
that.
asking for a
Wait,
change.
wait.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
That Eric might not be looking for a change.
Yeah, I don't even know that I'm asking for a change yet. I don't know how to evaluate this. That's my concern. I feel stupid because I don't know how to evaluate the responses based on what was provided to me. So I can't even go back and ask for a change because I don't know what was answered. So we're not asking for a change. We're just asking for a clear answer. So then we can evaluate whether or not we actually are going to ask for a change. Maybe I wasn't clear on that, but I just don't know because I don't have the answers. So, sorry, Ed.
No, that's all right. Adrian, you,
Up to you.
Do you want to walk through the report and plans that are associated with them, and I can try to answer as many as you can tolerate right now?
The time, I think.
We've gone far enough with this meeting tonight. We have other
Business.
business to do.
But maybe you
We
can do that
continue it to
with,
the next meeting and walk through anything, go in any direction you want.
maybe we can, maybe you could do that with the agents. I think that might be the more productive way of doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
So
also,
I think actually what I'd like to do is request you table the matter for now, and I'll make a phone call and then I'll come back.
Table,
So I think that's the same thing.
No, do you want a continuation till the next meeting, or do you want us to take this to a vote?
I think.
No, table, I'd like to request that you table the matter on the agenda for now, and you can take it up at the end of your agenda. And in between, I will make a phone call.
Oh.
Continuation.
No, she wants to come back today, that's.
She can't make the decision.
That's.
What?
she has to ask somebody.
It sounds to me like she can't make the decision as to
Yeah.
what she.
I think
she
that's
needs someone
reasonable.
else.
It's reasonable. We have other business that we need to discuss, so
Do we need to
that's.
vote on that?
yes,
No, yeah.
Yeah.
vote
You
to
have to
table.
close the public hearing.
No, no,
Oh, we
no,
don't wanna
no.
close the
You're
public
voting to
hearing.
suspend the hearing, or to table it to a later
Okay,
time.
to a later time today.
Correct.
Okay.
We're done.
Okay.
All right.
All right, with regards to, what DEP file number are we on now?
No WP file number because it's a local.
Oh, it's a local. Oh, okay. Well, with regards to the project at 200 Haines Street, I'd like to make a motion to postpone, right, not postpone.
Table the
Table-
discussion
table the
until.
discussion until later
You
in
want
the
to pick a
meeting.
time? I mean, how late are we staying here?
No, we'll pick it up.
At
as
the end?
At the end.
Okay.
There's no time. Right?
I'm gonna go.
I'm getting out of
with-
here. I don't.
To the end of the year.
2 hours.
Yeah.
No, but the end means
much time
when
do you
we get
need,
to the end of our
Adrian?
agenda.
That's fine, you can stay at the end of the agenda. I'll stay on, I'll just.
What?
Table
She
to the
just
end
wants
of
to
the
make a phone
agenda.
call, she just wants to make a
Okay.
phone.
And then if she's not ready, then we'll just make another decision then.
Right.
Okay,
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Vote.
So to the end of the agenda.
all right.
I'll second the motion.
No discussion, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Winglass in favor.
Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodman in favor?
Council Steven in favor.
All right, thanks,
Thank you.
Adrian.
Thanks, Ed.
Right, number 9.
Number 9, 241 and 245 Main Street, continued notice of intent,
I just need a
Paving of the
motion to
commercial-
continue.
parking lot, what?
Got a written request.
300-1184.
All right, with regards to DEP file number 300-1184, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing to May 9th.
Second the motion.
Could you repeat the motion? Sorry.
With regards to the DEP file number 300-1184, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing until May 9th, 2024.
It's already seconded.
Yep.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Winglass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodman in favor?
Carsten Stüber in favor.
Right. 274 Big Allen Road. continued notice of intent, repair of a historic boat notch, DEP file number 300-1186. Virginia Rossioli is the applicant. We have a request for a continuation of that. Till May 9th, do I have a motion?
With regards to DEP file number 300-1186, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing until May 9th, 2024.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
7 Cedar Pond Road, notice of intent, drainage improvements and platform deck, DEP file number 300- no number.
We did get a file number today, but they had already given me a written continuation to the April 18th meeting.
Okay.
I'll update the file number for next meeting.
With regards to the project at 7 Cedar Pond Road, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing until April 18th, 2024.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
All right. 98 Gladding Lane.
That one already.
We did that one.
We did Seneca Lane, we did 14, next is 15, Hamilton Rod and Gun Club. This is a land use request for our Plimpton property. This is a annual request that they make for the club to use the Plimpton property for an archery event that they hold on, I didn't put the date on here, let me see what the date is. The dates are June 28th, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. It begins at noon on Friday and goes Saturday and Sunday. Wow, the club also just wrote that they celebrated their 100th year of operation in 2021. How exciting. So we're looking for a vote for that. I apologize, I don't have any like special conditions, but I can look and see what we've used historically and
We can go with what we
always
have
use.
done for the past 3 years.
Right,
Same
that's the
conditions,
same conditions as previous.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the land use permit request for the Plimpton property by Hamilton Rod and Gun Club with the same conditions that we have used for previous filings for this project.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Okay, the next one is a mountain bike.
New England Mountain Bike Association.
Yes, they were before us 2 meetings ago. Nate, I don't know if he's on, he was on, but he's not here anymore. They explained the event, when the uses will be. Since our previous meeting, they have gone to the Board of Selectmen to get their blessing and approval, which they have. The parking will all be at the OSV museum entrance, not on town property. They will, Becky did leave me some notes for that we should condition it with making sure they have liability insurance and that they have all the proper signage so that they're not going on unusable trails. But I don't see any issue with approving it. There was a correspondence from Fish and Wildlife that I did include under a separate section here. They had a few concerns about trail use in general. I don't know if it really affects this particular application, but it just coincided with this application going to the Fish and Wildlife for approval.
Yeah, it didn't, they're gonna meet, they met and they're gonna meet
They would like to
again.
come to our
And they're gonna come to
future
our-
meeting to talk about their concerns.
But they're not this.
Not that they don't have necessarily any concerns over this particular event. They have concerns about the trails and the expansion in areas that are not approved.
Oh, you mean the bikers going off and create an extra single track? Yep.
Yeah.
I noticed that, yeah. All right, well, with regard to the permit request for Lead Mine and Heinz Farm for the New England Mountain Bike Association, I'd like to make a motion to approve the permit with the appropriate conditions as laid out by our former agent, and yeah, that is it. Yep.
Second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I just, my only discussion is I don't know if we're the board that should be requiring them to hold liability insurances. Who's responsible for that?
Well, that was just.
I think he
Becky.
stated that they had it, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But I don't know that is the land under the,
Well, we have the
Uh,
care and custody of certain parts
Yeah,
of
we
it,
have care
and
and
Riverlands is care and custody from the Board of Selectmen, so
No, I could.
we
I
can
can
look
call
at.
Brandon and ask him if they have it. 'Cause
should we,
they
should we
told me before
postpone
we
the discussion until you get
No,
off the phone?
no, we'll just go on.
I mean, I can find out.
I mean,
from
they should as an
staff.
organization, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever insurances they should have, but I just don't know that that's a condition that would, but if it is, I'm cool with that.
She had said it in the
Yeah, it probably lands with
February
us
meeting.
to make sure.
Maybe it's the one you weren't at, but she had mentioned that.
All February meetings.
Oh, well then she said it in the meeting.
I knew it was brought, I remember him saying they had it, so
Right.
it just.
Okay.
So we have a second?
I seconded it.
You seconded it? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stüber in favor.
Once in a while.
Peckham Land Trust.
One
You-
last one. So this one is an Opakam Land Trust. They're actually our CR holder for the property, that property. They would like to use Heinz Farm on they actually wouldn't mind having it either date of the 11th or the 12th if the 11th was not available of May. They have a spring nature walk, about 20 people. I don't see any concerns over the event, and I don't see any concerns on either of those dates, whichever if they would prefer the 11th, and that's.
Talking about 20 people?
Yeah.
Sound like they're just introduction to nature and stuff like
Who are you
that.
dealing with on that?
Amy Adams, she's the new person at Opakam. She was hopeful to be here today, but I couldn't give her a pretty realistic time in which we would be discussing this, so I just told her to stay home.
All right. We are now to.
Wait, we
With
need a vote.
regards to the land use request for Heinz Farm for the Opakam Land Trust, I'd like to make a motion to approve the permit with the appropriate conditions laid out by.
I don't think we really need any conditions, but yes.
All right, so then appropriate is none.
There we go. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion, anybody? All in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor?
Carsten Stüber in favor.
And Ed Goodwin in favor.
You're up, Justin. All right, now we're on to 18 Blueberry Hills.
We missed you, Justin. I'm sure you didn't
I
miss
was
us.
here in February. I don't think you were here.
I was in Las Vegas. I didn't miss you then.
Sure.
This week I sent out a few versions of some of the CR language and the DR, the Declaration of Restriction language for the properties, Justin's property at Lot 3, Fisk Hill East property at 4A and 4B. Everyone has mostly up to date since the latest version that you provided. There's just been one slight change, which our attorneys had in there, that the Fisk Hill East was an owner, and Fisk Hill
Realty Trust.
Fisk Hill Realty Trust and Fisk Hill East Realty Trust were both owners of the property. It's actually just Fisk Hill East Realty Trust. So we had to, the version you have in front of you is edited since then to reflect that. Justin and the other property owner did come in today and get his
Trustee certificate.
his papers notarized, which I apologize. I'm supposed to be texting the town clerk here. She's actually heading here. to notarize your signatures if you vote to approve this evening. I would ask that we take the original copy, provide your signatures, and have the town clerk notarize that this evening.
Can we see what we're going to be looking at?
Sure.
Sure. So,
You want to read your contract?
Jeff, can you
Are
just
one of those people?
handle that
Yeah.
while I text her?
It was the same documents that we talked about on February 15th meeting. I don't think there were any changes that were made from
No,
that.
only
Oh, Dan, we found out
adjustment.
Dan owns it and not Matt.
Well, that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
That's
Nothing ever matters.
so,
land's getting protected, that's what matters.
I sign it.
what's that?
I sign it.
So, the minor changes that we made today, but what you probably have seen in the past, town council had two minor comments. He removed the verbiage of some of the grantors because it was redundant throughout the document. And then there was the question on whether or not we should keep trail maintenance and potential trail improvements in the document. And after multiple discussions with thinking about it, and if we remove the ability to create trails, therefore those parcels could never have trails on them. And we decided to keep it in the language in with the ability of the holder of the conservation restriction has the right to review and make sure that that's being done. And we added in that the trail width, the actual trail would be no wider than 6 feet, but the clearing could be up to 30 feet to allow for clearing of some of the brush and a little bit of minor grading of that. So those are the only changes. Then the changes we made from what Aaron had sent out to you, I think yesterday, day before, or this morning.
Honestly, I don't know. I've sent them two versions.
The change that we made this afternoon was on page 1 of the grant of conservation restriction for Lot 4, and the declaration of conservation restriction for 4B was, as we realized that through town council again, that the Fisk Hill Realty Trust does not exist, and it's only Fisk Hill East Realty Trust. That actually, they were in the documents that included both names, so they were removed from page 1, page 11, and then the signature sheet, which actually the owner or the trustee actually notarized today, but we'll have to go back and have it notarized tomorrow. But he did notarize one. I do have that copy, but it's now null and void.
Okay.
No,
So-
Lane just got here.
And I have.
Hi, Brian.
I have both, I have all three, the grant to conservation restriction on Lot 3, which is Justin's piece, and then I have the other two, which are on East, or Fisk Hill East Realty Trust properties. They have been reviewed by town council, they've been reviewed by Justin's attorney, and they've been reviewed back again by town council, and there is no further,
And thoroughly reviewed by staff. Basically know that document pretty well.
Awesome. Good to know. Thanks for looking out, Aaron.
and it will require signatures by the board members, of obviously a vote, and then the process now is if you, the commission decides to vote tonight, close or I don't even think you have to close, I think it's just a vote to sign.
I think vote to accept.
We vote to accept,
The language and
then sign.
Sign.
Yeah, we didn't open a public hearing.
It'll be notarized by town clerk, she's on her way. And then this will go in front of the select board on Monday night for their signature so that they can be recorded sometime on Tuesday.
Clarifying point, procedural point. There's 3 documents, do we vote 3 times?
I think we should.
And does it need to be, since all 5 signatures need to be on it, in this document, does it need to be a 5-0 vote? Or is it simple
I think
majority?
we're just voting to accept the document
Yeah, I don't think
as
it needs all
written.
5 signatures.
And that
Oh, okay.
signatures is just the
There, but-
procedural, that I needed all 5 of you to be in this room to sign.
Well, look at that. This doesn't happen all the time, so we got us.
Does anybody have any questions about the documents?
I have a general question.
Okay.
All of the documents basically refer to the grantor, that there's no access, no guaranteed access to the public. There's no public access granted. So why are we building trails?
No.
We aren't building trails. I said I don't care if the trails part stays in there or not. I left that up to town council and to Jeff and Aaron.
Our town council asked to leave the trails in there because a conservation restriction has trails as an allowed use. So if I took if we decided to not have any language about trails in there, it would never be an allowed use. And although on Justin's part, his actual piece wouldn't really make sense for trails, but lot 4, even though the intention is eventually to be Fish and Wildlife's property, we don't know that for sure right now. And whatever you write in this document is in perpetuity. So whatever it
That
says.
carries forward to if you transfer to Fish and Wildlife. If they accept.
Well, I won't be, so it's Fiskill, East
Fiskill.
Realty Trust will be transferring that 56 acres that we've talked about.
Fiskill Realty?
I am not, no.
Or whoever is involved in Fiskill Realty Trust, if they transfer that, this document follows?
Yes.
Yes.
And will always maintain, so Fish and Wildlife then also won't grant access to the public.
Well,
no.
And that
That's what
may
it says.
Yeah, and that may be true, but does allowed use is trails?
An allowed
But
use
if
of the
it,
document.
if it doesn't grant access to the public, there
Yeah.
is no use.
Yeah. So I mean,
Zero.
I believe, I don't have the document in front of me.
I have it right here.
In the with the declaration of restriction, and Brian may be able to answer this too, I believe.
Yeah.
Once the transfer happens, the declaration of restriction goes away. That's why it's a declaration of restriction versus a conservation restriction. So on our lot 3 and what we've been calling, I think 4B, the small section that abuts our property, those are both conservation restrictions because those are going to stay with the property forever.
Okay.
And we didn't allow public use on those two
They're right in
parcels.
the neighborhood of the other.
And also because the main reason for that was protection of the vernal pools that are there. With the declaration of restriction, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, when that land does transfer over to Fish and Wildlife, the declaration of restriction goes away.
If they accept it. So the proposal's been made by Fiskill to Fish and Wildlife?
Yes, I've been in contact with them along with.
You're not involved with Fiskill?
I understand.
So has Fiskill
Been in contact with Fish and Wildlife? Yes.
They have.
They have.
And sorry, just to jump in too. Good to see everyone. If you remember, the order of conditions require that land transfer take place within, I believe, 12 months.
Okay. No, man, this was back last year. I don't remember yesterday, so.
Yeah, that's accurate, I think.
Yeah, so part of our order of conditions is that land transfer happens within 1 year.
And that's correct, Jeff?
Well, yeah, and if you read further on, though, it does allow future public access arrangements may be granted following review and approval by the grantor and his successors or assigns and grantee.
I like the word may or I like words shall and will and contracts.
Correct, I don't disagree with that.
Is a
fuzzy word.
that means may not.
Correct, so the reason we felt that it should be left in there, doesn't give them any carte blanche to put trails in. It still would require approval of both the grantor and the grantee.
I don't care about the trails. If the public can't have access to that lot, it doesn't matter what the permitted uses are because nobody can use it.
Well,
so if the intention is to not be ever used, the declaration piece, then it shouldn't say the word may because you're deceiving the public.
Well, no, because it says the conservation restrictions does not grant any right of access to the general public, and the grantor retains its right to prohibit access by the general public unless otherwise authorized and described herein, which then, for the next paragraph, does allow
The town officials.
Or the public, if necessary, in the future, but it has to be at the approval of the grantor and grantee, which is the holder of the property
Currently,
and.
the grantor is not giving access, that's Fisk Hill.
Oh, in this case, I'm reading the one from Blue Hill, but I think it's in this, all three, it's in the same thing, so.
But if the protection
Well, I
of
think the question though is the conservation easements will maintain that permanently, which I'm cool with. It's the big piece of land which we all fought for. It's great that it's gonna stay woods and all that stuff, but will the public gain access? You wash your hands of it like Pontius Pilate, tomorrow's Good Friday, and it goes to Fish and Wildlife, and they get to make that decision down the road, I guess. Is that, how do you see it, Ed?
That's the way I see it. These guys are blocking, that, we will.
I'm all right if that's what this
We will
purview
never
is.
get public access from his property.
Which, I probably, if I were them, I wouldn't want to do that either.
We have public access through
Another way.
Fish and Wildlife.
Through
It
Fish and
abuts Fish and Wildlife now.
Okay, and where do you
there's
park to
public
get into
ac-
it?
What?
Where do you park to get over there?
You can park in Brandon's yard and walk through the back.
I think town of doesn't town of Sturbridge
I
also
know you know how to
butter?
get back there, but I don't know how to get back there, so. That's,
Isn't town of Sturbridge also in a butter, if
What?
I'm not mistaken, isn't Sturbridge in a butter? Town of
There
Sturbridge
is a
property.
landlocked piece owned by the town of Sturbridge.
See, but his point is, for that is the same. It's
just
landlocked.
so it all gets, I just want that all out in the domain. That's my biggest hangup of it. I did see that you can hunt back there, you're just not allowed to be back there, so that was good for the public. Okay.
Is that a big enough concern to? I mean,
I thought the idea is to save the vernal pools.
right. I mean, that would be an ancillary benefit down the road, but if we're protecting, then I think we've accomplished what we needed to accomplish for now. Yeah.
I'm happy with land that nobody has access to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post mine.
What?
So I gotta post my property.
The deer and stuff will thank us.
The coyotes will kill all the deer on that property.
Well,
Okay, whatever.
Does anyone else have questions?
so with regards to the Lot 3 grant of conservation restriction, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the language and send it off to the select board for final approval.
I haven't got a copy in front of me of it.
No. You want me to open it?
Don't we have them here to sign?
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe,
Yeah.
So you sign first, or I sign first?
well,
We have
can we
names.
vote?
Is
Can we do the
signing
vote?
voting?
No,
or-
let's do the vote
Oh, we first
official
vote.
so that I can get that out of the way.
I'll second it.
Do all,
Okay.
yeah, do them all at the same time.
Right, because then Lynn can just sign.
Let's vote, then I sign immediately.
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Edwin Glass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carson
Can we sign yet, or should we need to wait for town clerk?
She's
I
right
don't know.
there.
There she is.
She's here.
With regards to the,
So I'm
to Lot 4 grant of conservation restriction, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the language and send it off for select board approval.
I second it.
Discussion?
Should be, no, should be the next, that one.
Any discussion? None?
Eric
All in
Gaspar in favor?
Edwin Glass in favor.
Carsten Stüber in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
With regards to parcel 4A, the declaration of conservation, I'd like to make a motion to approve the language and pass it to select board for final approval.
I second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Quick. Ted Winglass in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Carsten Stüber in favor.
Yeah, I can be a team player sometimes.
There's no I in team or in team.
We have to have Dan come back and sign again.
Well, not to me, that's on you.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
You do it tomorrow, you do it Monday.
I'll try for tomorrow.
Do I bring it with me?
I'll
The
find
select
out.
board does,
Say, I'd prefer to keep it here,
I
so,
don't even know if I have my license with me.
unless,
The hell of a question.
I'll make-
then Lynn's here, so, I mean, it's
That's
easier.
true.
Yeah, I do.
I'll call tomorrow and I'll call you and let you know.
I'm only here till 12.
Right, okay.
You missed one.
I need your ID. And then you know.
I forgot to tell everybody.
Here's another one, right here.
Hopefully they did.
You're gonna give us a bottle of wine or something? Because that's right, everybody's gotta be 21.
It's in the car, just waiting.
Well, this is really official, huh?
Very official,
Good
yes.
lord. Been a while.
Wow.
And now it's the 65 and over.
Yeah, so are you really 65? We're not gonna give you your discount. Let's see your ID.
All right. What,
And then
anything
as far-
else while we're waiting? What?
The on-site meeting.
It's Tuesday, scheduled currently Tuesday at, what do we say, 1 o'clock? 12 o'clock.
I'm gonna take everything
Tuesday is the 12th, is that the
2nd.
2nd? I will be in Boston that day. How about the 3rd? Didn't we say?
You and I had
called you
talked to-
back and said that I
Yeah,
couldn't do
you and
it.
I had talked the 3rd. I said to Erin,
Okay.
it doesn't matter to me. I will get everything recorded Tuesday morning. So I'll have proof that all these documents and plans have
Yeah.
been recorded.
Thursdays,
So Wednesday,
I can do it.
Wednesday
doing?
morning?
We still have to do an on-site meeting
Yeah.
before we can start work. We did it with PD and fire and planning and DPW.
Wednesday, the 3rd?
Yep.
I don't know if everybody
Yeah.
has to be there or just one person.
Yeah, I'd like everybody that can be to be there. So it would be,
I can't.
What time?
I can't.
I know, you want to say 9?
Sure.
Does that work for people?
That's fine.
I
Nine
can't be
minutes
there,
ago?
Eric, can you make it?
but I can
So
zoom
looking
in
at-
if you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
9
not
a.m.
going
works
to
for
take.
third.
I told Aaron last week, I'm in Florida on business on the May 9th meeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of those guys get lucky.
How long will we be there?
I would say, we're just looking at
As long as
phase
you
one.
wanna
I
walk
would-
all the silt fence. As long as that takes.
Half hour, maybe?
Okay. I got a 10, but if we're meeting there at 9,
Yeah,
yeah, that'll work.
okay.
Good.
I probably could take this
That's
one from the
Wednesday.
phone, You're right.
Wednesday at 9.
Great.
It's a global coaching culture
I
to
think
win.
that's everything I have. I'm ready to move
So I
on.
could take this.
Thank you.
The one I was on today, let me tell you.
Project like this.
I mean, it's not a public hearing, so I think Justin's all set, right? Yes.
Can I go home now?
Yes, you can go home now.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
See you on Wednesday.
Take care, Justin.
all right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
I don't think there's really any committee updates to,
No, I can tell you that we pushed our meeting out for EPA because we didn't publish it when we wanted to, and so we just went out another month.
okay. Number 19, correspondence letter from Mass Fish and Wildlife. I provided that to everyone. I did get an email correspondence following up asking that if she could attend maybe our next meeting to have a conversation with everyone about the concerns. I offered up April 18th, and I haven't got a confirmation that she wants to do that, so. What do I have? What else? New business. Any new business that anyone else?
Well, the only thing I wanted to bring up, when we shifted to Mondays, I didn't think that my schedule would be as complicated as it's been. I don't know that I've made a Monday site visit. It's just been limiting. My Mondays get awfully busy. So I'm okay if the majority of the board can make it on Mondays, keeping it there. Huh? Mondays,
We look at
Mondays.
changing it.
I didn't think it was bad, but they've become really bad.
What's a good day?
Tuesdays and Wednesdays are.
Why don't we do Tuesday and Wednesday?
Person, can you go on
Tuesday I
Wednesday?
definitely can't.
What?
Tuesday I definitely can't.
Wednesday?
Actually, by the end of the semester, it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah.
I mean, there's only gonna be
That's what I
probably
always
two more. There's only gonna probably be two more, the April 18th and the May, and then your school will be over,
About you?
right?
I can do the
Depends.
Yeah, my schedule's it's always in a flux.
I can try. It might work or might not work.
Well, I have no
Let's do
problem
it Wednesday.
changing it from Monday to,
It would make it much easier, because, I mean, I don't.
It's okay.
I was pretty regularly making the site visits. I haven't made one on a Monday.
Let's try for Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next one.
That would be good.
When would be the next one?
That would be
Our
the
next,
10th then?
our next site visit was scheduled for, let's see, the deadline for the applications was Tuesday. I need to look at my calendar, I can't think now.
Well, it would be Wednesday the 10th, right?
Wednesday the 10th.
Wednesday the 10th, but there's a caveat to that now, because the 11th, we also have a site visit, if people are available to go. I know you're not.
I'm in Dallas.
No, I won't be Tuesday.
You can't-
Tuesday, Thursday I can't, but
Okay, well then never mind. So if we do site visits next week on the 10th of April, is everyone, for next meeting, is everyone okay with that?
I'll be here.
Okay, good.
Well, I'll still be in Dallas, but that's fine.
Oh, the 10th, you won't be around.
I'm leaving on the 8th, so.
then we can do Monday.
you
We
wouldn't
can
be,
do Monday next time, you
we
know.
want to do Monday, the 8th then, just for that, for keeping it the
Sure.
same, and then
You want
move
us
it
to
to
pick the dog
Wednesday?
up?
Yes, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Pick Carly up, give her a walk, because Dad won't be around.
Okay, April 8th?
Starting for the May 9th meeting, we'll write May 9th meeting.
Okay, that sounds good. And then semester's almost over.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, I appreciate that.
I know, well, we'll have to talk about that. Maybe I can put my report later.
Can we bring Lenny back up here now?
I guess.
Adrian.
Brought all the material in.
He brought the materials.
What? Yeah.
He brought his materials. I don't know what you want to do about that.
Already continued.
You
I already
already
continued it
continued.
to a date and time certain.
We already continued it.
Adrian is back.
We still have Adrian waiting over here.
Is there anything else I wanted to add? Okay, yeah, okay. So site visit on the 11th that I sent out for the Kerboy event. Ted, are you available to come?
For when? The
April 11th.
Sure.
So you're out. You can't go. Maybe Ed, is morning best?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'll reply to Alex.
You know, get
Okay.
Alex in it.
That
Yeah,
mash
enough
bar?
time to make it.
Okay, I think that was my, do you have any other updates or anything, Jeff? Next, okay, April 18th meeting, we did have a discussion. I will not be here. Jeff will be
Running
leading you
solo.
all alone. So be kind to
Tempting to.
him.
If you could just inform me of if I'm putting any public hearings in jeopardy, just not tonight, but
Right.
maybe next week. And then
Okay.
I can make a determination.
I tried my best not to put as little as possible
Yeah,
on
I
that
know,
one, but.
I know. But if there's anything that's gonna be conflicting, you know,
And then the
have an
9th,
obligation.
you're not gonna be here.
Correct.
Okay.
There's a lot going on that meeting.
I guess all we have left is to go back to Adrian's,
Yeah, and if you don't mind, this is Nate Lane here. Apologize that to the commission that I had to drop off, and I missed my window. Were there any questions about the permit for the event in June, or
at the last
is that good to
meeting,
go?
at the last meeting, our former agent mentioned a condition about liability insurance. I'm assuming you have your
Correct.
own liability insurance and we don't, okay, and you could,
Clean
That was the
up.
only question we
Yes.
had, Nate.
They clean up after
Yeah,
themselves.
so,
Right,
so
the Board of Selectmen has the same thing.
NEMBA carries blanket liability insurance, and
Okay.
once we have the permit for the event, the next step for us is to extend that liability insurance to the landowner, so I'll work directly with you all to make sure we get the paperwork in place for, the official entities in which it's extended to.
great,
Great.
that was it.
Yeah.
It was approved. I'll send you something, an email.
Wonderful, thank you so
Good
much,
luck.
appreciate the support.
Yep.
Have a good evening.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're back to, I'm assuming you need to reopen or let me get back to that number. Where are we? 8, right? 8?
Take off the.
Motion to
I guess we
untable.
need to, what? Reopen?
I'll
Reopen the hearing?
second the motion to untable.
All right, any discussion? All in favor of untabling?
Eric Gaspar in favor.
Ed Winglass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Adrian, what did you find out?
let's go ahead and continue the hearing for one meeting.
I would recommend we continue 2 meetings, but.
What? What'd she say?
She wants a continuation to the April 18th.
April 18th.
I would prefer the May 9th, but it's up,
No.
you have to allow whatever continuation you'd like.
All in favor? Discussion?
You think you're ready on April 18th?
Yeah, April 18th, please.
Alright.
Is that the next meeting? April 18th?
It is.
All new information has to be to us a week prior.
Okay. Yep.
All right, Eric asked, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing with regards to 200 Haines Street until April 18th, 2024.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Ed Winglass in favor.
Roy Bishop in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
I don't vote.
All right, would you have a
You
time?
second that one?
Yeah.
You have a time for her?
Not yet, I'll send it to her.
Okay, she'll send you the time, Adrian.
Okay.
Roy, do your thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do your thing, Roy.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Make a second on that.
All right.
All those in favor?
What? Oh, we forgot me.
What do you,
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, we can't reopen.
We continued.
We continued. We already voted on you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
Lenny.
no, that's discussion on the motion. So, all right. Well, there's a discussion back.
No, but wait.
Yeah, we can't.
We can't open.
Can't open it.
What was the thing about?
Public's not here to be able to
2
comment.
or 3.
I don't
Yeah,
think
nobody's
we
here.
can
They can't know you're having the
2, I
meeting.
think.
Roy Bishop in favor to adjourn.
In theory.
Yeah, number 2.
who second that?
I do.
To the 9th,
Okay.
18th.
Oh, the National Grid one there.
Yep, putting in the poll.
Ed Winglass in favor.
Eric Gaspar in favor?
Roy Bishop in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Stop recording.
Should have tabled it,
This conference is no longer being recorded.
by the way.
I almost wanted to say to Justin.
Right there.
I printed that out.